What is up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Today we're going way back in time. It's time to party like it's 1999. It's a Jeff Gordon Pepsi Busch Series Monte Carlo. Wow, is this thing cool. Check out the vintage artwork. I love these old school card backs. When you have a good diecast mold, very vintage retro packaging, it just takes you back to the childhood days. But regardless, let's go ahead and jump to a closer look at the packaging. You know, one of the coolest things about diecast reviews, fellas, is that you get to look at diecast. You don't have to buy the diecast, and guess what? You get to see it. You don't have to collect it. You don't have to store it. You don't have to do any of that. You can just click on a video and you get to watch it. How cool is that? So, if you're someone who doesn't want to own this particular diecast, but you want to check it out, guess what? You can. That's what's so cool about diecast reviews. So, looking at the packaging here, you have the vintage winner circle logo. I don't think I have one near me that I could show you, but what I will say is in year 2000, they changed the brand font and made it much more modernized, which is the same winner circle inevitably they would use 24 years later in 2024. So it's interesting enough. This is from the Jeff Gordon Lifetime series. If you don't know what that is, there's probably a ton of y'all who weren't even born in the 2000s watching this. I feel old. I'm kidding. Anyways, this was like, they did a special series for like Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, Jeff Gordon, X, Y, and Z. And they would have like a series of like 8 to 10 different vehicles from their years. And I'll show that real quickly. How it has like different vehicles from their career. So their rookie car, their, what do you call it, like sprint cars and whatnot, different things like that. So that's something they would do. And they would kind of show you some checkpoints, if you will, of their career in kind of lame terms. So this comes in a sealed plastic dome. The plastic is in fantastic shape. This was officially a 1999 car, but I have a hunch this was made in 1998. Why? Because Pepsi did, I think, a couple one-off starts. You can even see the winner circle branding there. There's even a winner circle logo on the car. This is probably something that was in the works for a while, okay? So I would not be surprised late 1998 this was leaving the factory in China. I believe that's where they were still making these. And then you had, of course, your little car back here. Very high quality. I'm shocked for a 26-year-old car, give or take. Fantastic condition. And the car back is really not even that bent. Like, in all honesty, fantastic condition. The white ink, none of it looks yellowed. This was a very well-stored car. And you might be saying, well, why are you going to open it? There's a ton of these, guys. I mean, literally, go do some searching online. There's a ton of these floating around. You're not hurting the market. They made a gajillion of these things, so no worries. Let's go ahead and finally get to the diecast review. All right, folks, outside of the package after 26 years since the factory. That's pretty remarkable. It's crazy to think. I mean, just think about that. This car is on a boat. It's on a pallet in a shipping container over the seas. And in the late 90s, who in the world would have ever thought this car would be opened up in some jabroni studio and filmed on a platform called YouTube? Who in the right mind would have ever predicted that in the late 1990s? This thing was made before I was born, okay? That's what I'm saying. It's crazy how things change in the world. So what's really cool about this car is it's a simple paint scheme. However, it does have a very subtle gradient to it. Now, I think the gradient is decaled. I could be mistaken on there. This is back in the days when they would actually paint some of their gradients. I can't really tell because you can see some blue right here, and you can see a little bit of a, there's no light blue there. So maybe that's just decal wrap overlapping it. Regardless, let's officially kick off this diecast review. So this is a Busch Series car with Pepsi. He ran a couple Busch Series races with Pepsi throughout the years. And this is a very, very cool car. I needed a donor diecast for a custom, and I said, you know what? I'm going to test this theory that the late 90s Monte Carlos, there's two different versions of it. There's a very bulky, chunky one I think they made most of the Dale Earnhardt stuff with and Dale Jr. stuff with in like 97 to 98. Anyways, then they made this version, which is so much more aerodynamic, and it's very, very similar to the current remake of the 1998 Dale Earnhardt Daytona 500 race to win. I know, that's a mouthful. We did a diecast review on that. I'm trying to learn, is this the same exact casting or not? Because from what I'm seeing, there's very subtle changes to it. That's what I'm seeing, but it's very similar. So you got your Pepsi logo right there, very vintage. I wish they would bring this Pepsi logo and font back. I get it. They retro is cool, but to me, this was always cool. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I like this Pepsi logo much more than the current one. You have remarkably like a silver grill right there. That's not just a normal decal. That's like a silver grill, or maybe they painted it. For those who don't know how they paint some of this stuff in factory, they have a funnel, and they'll place a portion of the car, like the spoiler, and it'll be like in a block of wood or a block of metal, and then the worker will just spray it, and then they just pull the car out. So it masks all the other stuff around the car. They just place it in there. You can't see the deck lid or the rear bumper, spray it, and then they just pull the car out. I've seen how they made some of the diecasts for different series and stuff. Remarkable how their factories work. Got the number 24 right there, Monte Carlo. Got your Chevrolet bow tie, very, very sharp. Go to the left side of the diecast. A very high quality diecast mold. If you look at a late 90s Chevrolet Monte Carlo, this is how it looks. I mean, it's very, very close. If you look at the AC Delco, what is it, 1997 or 1998 Winter Circle release for Dale Earnhardt Jr., the diecast mold looks, it looks as clunky as a Pacer, right? It looks as clunky as a Pinto. It's embarrassing that thing even got off the assembly line, how inaccurate it is. I mean, put it this way. There's Hot Wheels cars made in the late 1960s that had better, closer to the real car castings than a lot of the Winter Circle mid to late 90s molds. I don't understand it. But this is one of them that, in all honesty, survived 26 years so far, because apparently they used a very similar version of this. I think they might have changed a few things here and there, but for the most part, this is pretty darn similar. Now over to the left side of the car, you have a unique number font. You get the Pepsi logo, the very sharp gradient, very, very sharp. Get the Winter Circle decal there, DuPont, Fritos, Mac Tools, a ton of contingencies. Goodyear right there, Jeff Gordon's signature. Now, if I had to guess, this is not accurate to the real race car, and why? I feel like this is something that was released well before it was ever ran on the racetrack. That's just the hunch I'm getting. I don't have the historical information to make that accurate right now. You know me. I don't know everything, unfortunately. I wish I did. I'm kidding. I imagine this was something that might have been released maybe 8 months before he actually ran the car, give or take. And if that was the case, there's probably some logos that changed. Maybe even the paint scheme changed a little bit. Who knows? Could be mistaken. With the back of the car right there, you got your Chevrolet bow tie. Fritos Pepsi number 24. It says 1998 Monte Carlo, but it says 1999 Hasbro. So that does kind of further validate my theory that this was manufactured in 1998 but released in 1999, because maybe their quote-unquote 1999 Monte Carlo, the one that actually stamps with the 99, maybe it wasn't ready yet. I don't know. Even though it's probably the exact verbatim casting, the number for it. Who knows? Who knows? It's just little quirks like that. But it's just fascinating, guys, how this car has been sitting around for 26-something years and some jabroni just opened it. Look how cool the diecast mode is. I mean, this is very realistic. Guys, if you're going to do like a custom on a late 90s Monte Carlo, this is the mode I would use personally, because it's very affordable, overproduced to the cows come home, and you can just see how accurate this looks. I mean, go look at a photo of a late 90s Monte Carlo, and this is how it looks just about. I mean, very high quality. Go to the top of the diecast, you have the 24 right there, and again, that gradient kind of appears once again, very, very sharp. And then you have Fritos right there on the deck lid. Very, very cool looking car indeed. We're going to look at the little trading card as well, guys. We're going to check that out, see how that's going. Look, what I love about these diecasts is a lot of them are affordable, right? But they're time capsules to a certain era of the sport. Just so cool to go back and look at it. You know, I see other channels that do stuff like this with action figures, and I find that pretty cool, right? But it's just really cool to go back and see, you know, stuff that was in retail stores decades ago. It's just really fascinating to me. I know, I'm a dork. I got Lifetime Series right there, which we already mentioned. This is the Jeff Gordon Lifetime Series. So it's number 2 of 8. You got the Jeff Gordon 99 Pepsi Chevy Monte Carlo. You have the fire suit. This looks more like a promotional suit. You can see how the car is right here. Maybe they're at a media event, Daytona Speed Weeks, who knows. That doesn't look like a normal fire suit they'd be running. But I could be mistaken, because this would probably have the Busch logo right here, and obviously they blur it out because this is not a alcoholic car. Go to the back end of the card back here. Got all kinds of information, fantastic stuff. Brooke Gordon, Ray Everham Motorsports. So what's the official team name? Am I tripping? I have no idea. I'm going to leave it like this. You could pause this if you would like to read all this. I don't want to bore y'all to death. But I'm trying to see if it says anything about the racetracks they're going to run in. So that's interesting. It says they competed 5 times during the 1999 season. So that's really interesting. Jeff Gordon running Busch races. I mean, I kind of feel like that's like how Kyle Larson is right now. Like we're seeing him run, one-off Xfinity races, but there's going to come a time in his career when he's probably not going to run anymore, right? Kevin Harvick did the same thing. So kind of makes me look at the current day NASCAR and be like, hey, enjoy it when Larson goes and runs an Xfinity race. Enjoy it when you see Chase Elliott or whoever, these Cup champions at Hendrick, because one of these days they're probably going to stop running it. Interesting enough. So thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to help support the channel. Make sure you use that promo code Diecastbuffet, guys. It helps me be able to get more cool stuff in the studio, help keep this channel going. You don't have to use it, but hey, I mean, if you're wanting to get some brand new diecasts like this, or anything like that, who doesn't want to save money? I mean, who doesn't want to go to the checkout line and be able to get stuff like this and get discounted shipping? I mean, who doesn't? Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed one. Diecast Buffet. Signing off.